using the First Alert Radar Network.
With up to 10 times the resolution of other local radars and technology that can pinpoint right down to your street.
First just got faster.
It's time to play America's favorite jackpot game. This is Powerball. Good evening, America. I'm Laura Johnson. Tonight we have another life-changing jackpot for you. It's worth an estimated $220.2 million, so get those tickets out. Let's play. That first number up is 17. Followed by the number 34. Tonight we're going to meet Gina Jones, who won $50,000 playing Powerball. Congratulations, Gina. Now for the rest of those numbers, we've got 46, 67. Rounding it out with 66. Your Powerball number tonight, good luck, Emma, is 14, and your Power Play multiplier is 2. Let's take a look at those numbers one last time. Remember, there are multiple ways to win. We'll see you back here Wednesday night. Good night, everyone.
Live from Augusta, we're watching News 1226 at 11.
And tonight marks 20 years since a deadly train crash in Graniteville, sending hundreds to the hospital. We will hear from a man who witnessed that tragedy. But first, we've got some cold temperatures heading our way, some wacky weather. Your First Alert meteorologist, Emily Acton, has your forecast and what we can see throughout the week. Emily?
Well, I can tell you it is going to be a cold week for us. That cold air has officially moved in. We're sitting at 35 right now, but check out the wind chill. 27, so feels a little bit cooler than the actual temperature, and that's going to be the trend throughout the overnight hours and to start off our morning. So you'll see the morning low, which tomorrow we're anticipating it to be in the upper 20s, but it's going to feel several degrees colder than what the actual temperature is. The rest of the southeast really dealing with the same cold air that has moved through. Thankfully, our wind gusts have died down a little bit. We were seeing probably close to 20-mile-per-hour wind gust here in Augusta, and that's much calmer than the 40-mile-per-hour wind gust we saw earlier today. So we're anticipating a calm night for us, but just know it is going to be a cold one. We're factoring in that wind chill as well, and it's not going anywhere for the next couple of days. I'll keep an eye on that Friday forecast coming up.
Ooh, okay, thank you so much, Emily. One man is in the hospital after a shooting tonight. Richmond County deputies say it happened on Springhouse Lane, just off Walton Way Extension, just after 7:30. We are working to learn more information on any possible suspects. Tonight marks 20 years since two trains collided in Graniteville, killing 9 people. The crash near the Avondale Mills plant released massive amounts of chlorine into the air, causing 250 people to be treated for toxic chlorine exposure. A memorial honors those impacted by the tragedy. Let's bring in your Julius Evans, who connected today with people in Graniteville who were there during this tragedy. And Julius, how are people remembering the scene 20 years later?
Well, Courtney, several people I talked to say although 2 decades has passed since the destruction and aftermath, the lives lost and the permanent health effects from the crash still linger on.
You hear metal to metal and boom, and then everything was quiet. It literally knocked me out of my bed.
Robert Wise says it's still a moment forever ingrained in his head.
At night, people were leaving. There was a couple of cars ran into each other. People were trying to get out. Nobody could really believe it was happening. It was just a nightmare that came true.
On January 6, 2005, 2 Norfolk Southern trains collided near the Avondale Mills plant in Graniteville, claiming the lives of 9 people, with hundreds more injured.
These were some good people. I knew 3 of them, 3 out of 9 that passed away, and they were all very good people.
The crash caused more than 250 people to be treated for toxic chlorine exposure after a chlorine-filled tanker car released more than 160,000 pounds of gas into the air. A moment Wise says his neighbors are still fearful of the lingering effects.
So we did the breathing treatments, and we went through all that. We went over to the hospital that night, and a few of us got scrubbed down because they thought we might be contaminated. Some are still worried about the effects of the chlorine.
2 decades later, Wise says Graniteville will always remember the tragedy claiming lives in his community, but says he will also remember the first responders who came from far and near to help.
So just very thankful for all the heroes that came to our rescue that day, because they came from everywhere.
Neighbors say every day they're still working to move on while also remembering history. They say it took the community coming together to heal 20 years ago, and it will remain that way as they keep looking to build and grow.
And Julia, speaking of growing, we hear there's a big tech company coming to that area soon.
That's right, Courtney. Along with all the new development with neighborhoods and new businesses, Facebook's parent group Meta is coming to the area in spring 2027.
All right, let's talk about growth and healing. Thank you so much for that report tonight. We appreciate you. 2 teenagers have died after a crash this morning in McDuffie County. The coroner says 16-year-old Zamaya Boggins and Denaya Granberry of Athens died in the crash on Georgia Highway 17 and Washington Road. Georgia Patrol says the car left the road and hit several trees. Troopers say the juvenile driver of the car was not hurt. Richmond County deputies need your help finding 2 missing people. Deputies say 58-year-old Philip Thomas was last seen this afternoon right around 4:30 at the Peaceful Living Personal Care Home on Deans Bridge Road. He was last seen wearing a blue hoodie, blue jeans, and brown shoes. Thomas is reported to suffer from schizophrenia and is on medication. They're also looking for 50-year-old Bertina Dalton. She was last seen on Skinner Mill Road on December 22nd. Family members say she called them on Christmas but refused to tell anyone where she was. Deputies say she's been having mental health issues and has refused treatment. If you see either of these missing persons, please call deputies. Tonight, former President Jimmy Carter lying in repose until our website, wrdw.com, and search Jimmy Carter. It's been just over 100 days since Hurricane Helene swept the area. North Augusta City Council says the city is 95% completed with the first pass of the cleanup in the city. They say there are still multiple parks closed, including Creighton Park, Playground, and Living History Park. City officials say while normal yard debris routes were suspended for 90 days, they are looking at when they can resume services. In the meantime, they ask for only vegetative debris from the storm to be put on the curb. And next Thursday, city officials are hosting a community engagement meeting. There will be updates on debris pickup on city roads, and you can ask any questions that you may have. This will be from 6 until 7:30 p.m. at the Municipal Center on Georgia Avenue. And ahead of the first day back, Aiken County Schools cutting the ribbon on the new Wagner Sally High School today. Students and parents touring the Wagner Sally High School. It is one of the older schools in the county, and its makeover cost about $45 million. The school was built back in 1939 and was paid by the State Department and federal dollars. Emily?
Well, we're tracking much colder air that has officially pushed through, and that's going to be what we're going to wake up to for your Tuesday morning. Give yourself a couple extra minutes to warm up that car because we are expecting cold air, and it's here to stay. I'll tell you more about it in your 7-day forecast coming up.
And also coming up, President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden attending a vigil for the New Orleans truck attack victims and the latest on what the suspect did before that attack. We'll be right back.
Happy holidays from Parker's Kitchen. Sending a world of good wishes to our invaluable team members. Thank you for making Parker's the best place to work and shop.
In the CSRA,
Well, that cold air has officially moved in, and we are feeling it. Temperatures right now sitting in those lower to middle 30s, but feels like those middle 20s for us. So a cold night in store. Make sure that you are giving yourself enough time to warm up the car tomorrow morning because, again, it is going to be a cold start for us. Here's the current feels like temperature. Like I said, we're in those middle 20s, feeling like in Augusta, but check out Atlanta. Feeling like 19 at the moment, and that's what it's going to be overnight tonight. We're going to be several degrees below the actual temperature, so just be prepared for that. That's going to be the same story really throughout the week for us. Good news is dry conditions, not tracking a lot of cloud cover. That's really going to help us cool off overnight tonight. But here's what we're looking at hour by hour. Starting off your day tomorrow, again, I think we're going to be in those upper 20s, but just know it's going to feel even colder than that. We'll warm up into those middle and upper 40s by the afternoon. cooling off again into those upper 20s for the start of your Wednesday. By Wednesday afternoon, we could see those upper 40s again, maybe that 50-degree mark in some lucky spots, but we'll do it all again overnight. We'll drop off into those 20s again. So a very cold pattern, and it's here to stay. Thankfully, winds are going to be dying down. Those wind gusts were very high today. We saw close to 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts here in Augusta. So thankfully, that's going to calm down overnight tonight, and the start of your Tuesday shouldn't be too windy for us. But again, a little bit of a breeze is going to go a long way with our cold temperatures for us. And speaking of cold temperatures, check out what we're tracking over the end of the week for us, really Friday into Saturday. We can expect to see the possibility of a wintry mix for our more northern counties, really north of Interstate 20, has that greatest impact to see a wintry mix, and that's saying a wintry mix of half an inch or quarter of an inch, or greater of snow or sleet. So I have very low confidence that we will see snow. Now, that wintry mix where we have freezing rain, sleet, I think that's a little bit higher of a possibility, but really for our most northern counties. Now, this is a fluid forecast. You're going to have to stick with us every day this week, and we'll give you more updates as more model runs come out. But again, more of our northern counties, those are going to be that best chance to see that wintry mix. Now, if you're in more of our central and southern counties, just know it might be a little bit warmer, but there's still that chance that you could get a little bit of a wintry mix there. But again, all forecast models are showing different things every model run. So right now we have low confidence in the forecast of winter weather, I should say, but we're pretty confident that we will see rainfall, though, as we go throughout the second half of our day, Friday and into Saturday morning. Here's what we're looking at the next 7 days. Beautiful sky conditions, really, for the majority of the work week. And then once we get to Friday, we're tracking that rain. Good news is anything that does accumulate will evaporate and dry out before we get into Sunday morning. So things are looking a little bit warmer by the weekend.
Okay, we'll wait on that better weather. Thank you so much, Emily. Tonight, President Biden attending a vigil in New Orleans, and
The First Alert Team, the best in Georgia.
Hi, I'm Mark Burke.
school girls basketball season is in full swing. Coming up in sports, Joseph Doring tells you about how the hot start is happening for the Evans Lady Knights. That's coming up. Stay close. We'll be right back.
Is Hudson Automotive Group. On your sideline.
The high school basketball season is among us, and one of the hottest teams in the CSRA is over at Evans High. The girls team is off to one of their best starts in school history, an incredible turn of events from the last 3 seasons for the Knights. A team that hasn't had a winning season since 2013
It's crazy now I'm the only one that's still here.
has now become a team that is off to its best start in school history.
It's been great, like seeing the progression through like the 3 years. I know like the past years we did have a lot of trouble like building our connection, but now it's like it's good to see it all come into play and see all our hard work like pay off.
Harmony Skinner is the only senior on this year's Evans girls basketball team. Through her first 3 years as a Knight, the varsity team only won a combined 11 games alongside 68 losses. KJ Kenny has been at the helm since the rough stretch began back in 2021. A former Evans Knight himself, Kenny says it was just a matter of time before his program would turn the corner.
This young group of freshmen, sophomores, they're now varsity and they've got that experience. So last year kind of thrown in the fire with some of the freshmen, but they grew, they all got better, and so now you're starting to see that young crew take that turn.
Ahead of region play, Kenny's team is 14-2 on the season, winning all but one of their games by 17 or more points. Once again, thanks to the rise of the next generation of Knights.
Last year I wasn't playing, but it was like the growth from last year to this year. It been good, but it all started during summer league. Once we thought as a team that we wanted to be better than last year, we just worked. We came in on our off days, even get shots up without the coaches, with the coaches. It's just the team effort.
Jabria Tate might only be a sophomore, but right now she's averaging over 26 points a game for Evans. The Knights will kick off region play Tuesday night on the road against Greenbrier. Tip-off for that game set for 6:30 p.m. Now let's keep the hoops train rolling. The Georgia Bulldogs were off to their best start in over 90 years. That was until they ran into number 23 Ole Miss last Saturday. The Dogs were up 2 at the half, but Chris Beard's Rebels played some immaculate defense in the second half. Georgia faces another tough test Tuesday night when they host number 6 Kentucky, who's coming off a huge win against number 8 Florida. Now here's a full look at the newest AP Top 25 in men's college hoops. The SEC continues to impress as conference play is officially underway. Right now they have 9 teams in the top 25, and in a few months we could be seeing 8 or more SEC teams play in March Madness. The conference is so good this year that 10-4 South Carolina is last in the SEC right now. The Gamecocks will host number 5 Alabama Wednesday night. Now let's talk about golf.
Visit GeorgiaAccess.gov to learn more.
Well, here's a final look at our 7-day forecast. 49 for that high tomorrow, but just know tomorrow morning the low might be in the upper 20s, but we're going to feel like those lower 20s. So just be prepared for that as you head out the door. We're actually going to be in the lower 20s for your Wednesday, Thursday. A cold forecast in store. We're still keeping an eye on those winter precip chances as we go throughout the second half of the day Friday. So stay tuned with us throughout the week for more details.
All right, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Stay warm, and we'll see you back here soon.
Our first alert commitment to you is the power of 5 meteorologists. All the tools, the latest technology, and the first team of 5 meteorologists. News 12's First Alert Weather on your side.
Over the last few